Let's begin. Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadhanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karashyami Siddhir Me Sadha Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Sadgurum Padukam Pujayami Tarpayami Namaha. Welcome to all the faculty members. Welcome to Acharya Shri Tarunima for joining us in this meeting and all the other faculty members who are here. So today is session 4. Session 3B of our Sanskrit class will be taken shortly. But since it is a part of the scheduled class, so we are going with the scheduled session of our faculty development, mentorship, and training series that is a part of the yearly annual selection of faculty members and giving them training and getting them into the teaching and administration of the Mahavidyalaya, this entire process. And this is today is session 4, where we have our dear Isha Nagashri Krishnamurti, who is sitting right in front of us in her camera, where she will be discussing about administration, documentation, and building a digital Gurukula. Because as you understand, this is Gurukula, and we are running it purely with the available modern technology, with to the best of its utilization. And most of the resources that we use are commonly available, like a platform like WhatsApp and and Zoom and Google Meets and everything, and how we are effectively able to run it with what is called as accountability, because that is something very important. Because when we are claiming ourselves as a school, a Mahavidyalaya, then we are supposed to have the teaching components of listening, reading, writing, and speaking, which is very fundamental to develop any literature, any activity related to literature, any activity which is related to deeply related to philosophy, any literature that has to evolve through human conscience. So that is what we are trying to do here. And today it's going to be very interesting because Isha was she was discussing her presentation and everything that she wanted to do. And she has intertwined a lot of management and public administrative theories into how I build the model of the education system, because basically I also come from a humanities and the social science background, and whatever I've been doing, it's not that I am doing, it's like learning from the traditional roots and connecting with all these modern theories, basically, and how effectively we can run the system. And she has captured it, I would say, in a very systematic manner. And this presentation is going to be one of the beautiful presentations, I guess, in the entire sessions that we are evolving, because it is very sharp and very up to the point. And there's a lot to learn for so many of you. Maybe after the session, you will have to read on certain aspects. So let's look towards Isha. Welcome, Isha. Thank you so much for joining us and getting into this, doing the seva, because you have been designated as the Mahavidyalaya administrator, the entire administration, the entire aspect of the teaching administration, the financial systems that we actually deal with, the transparency, students' communications, everything is with you actually, and also the academic coordinator for this year. You are continuing to be the academic coordinator for this year also. Thank you so much for everything that you do for the entire Mahavidyalaya, and also continuing your sadhana and everything as a part of your life. So over to you. We will look forward for your session.
Namaskaram, Guruji, and thank you so much for all these responsibility. I hope I will live up to your expectations. And yeah, I'll begin with the session today. Namaskaram, everyone, and thank you for attending this session. Before we begin, I would like to ask a simple question. I have not unmuted anybody here. like I want to ask a basic question. What is the difference between conducting a class and building a institution? Anyone can raise your hands and then you can answer. Accordingly, I'll take the session forward. So please raise your hand. What is the difference between conducting a class and building an institution? Because everybody here are a faculty for this new semester here. Should I pick Jyoti? Jyotima?
Namaskaram. Namaskaram, Guruji. And conducting a class is like is a small part of building a institution in the future. Like it's which leads to how we conduct a class. Now, can you hear me, Amma?
Yeah, ma.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Conducting a class is like today how we teach and how we educate and transmit the knowledge to the students today. It automatically leads to building a great institution in the future. That's how we have to look into whenever we take a class.
Wonderful. Thank you, ma. Sandhya, ma? Sandhya, ma?
Class is establishing an institution. There are so many things to establish an institution.
Okay, your voice, we are not able to, it was very distorting.
Is it audible, Norma?
No. Okay. We will get back to you, ma. You can talk.
Okay.
Okay. So, like, you think about it, like class, one session, what Guruji takes, it may last for an hour, a workshop will last for a day, or like event will last for 2-3 days. The recent event which we went to Vaidyagram, it lasted for 2-3 days. But what institution or the organization or the Mahavidyalaya should last for generations actually. It must survive through generation. It is not about our generation or we studying. It should last for generations to generation. Today we are going to discuss what makes that possible. Like what makes that Mahavidyalaya to sustain for generations to generation. Our Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya should sustain from our generation till the end. Like whatever the humanity is there, it should survive. Like how is that possible and how can we make all possible for that? So when we think about a Mahavidyalaya, then they usually think about Guruji, students, faculty, classes, and workshop. Like very few people think about the administration actually. In fact, the administration is noticed only when the things go wrong actually. Okay, so if the Zoom link is not working, that day when I received a lot of messages that Zoom link, that direct link was not working, then only they remember. Otherwise, like it goes on smooth. Or if we didn't receive any email, now the admissions emails are going on, and if we don't receive, we will get an email. Like we will get a message or something. Like assignments are not done, we will get a mail. Like what is the question and other things. So, but when everything works smoothly, nobody notices that system behind it. So every successful institution or an organization depends upon these invisible systems like admin systems. So teaching is the heart of the institution or the Mahavidyalaya, but the administration, it's nervous system. So a Gurukula survives because someone ensures the continuity of the learning systematically. Like Guruji is like teaching and he wants us to take it forward. So an administration is therefore not a separate thing from teaching. It goes hand in hand and it is a seva expressed through responsibility. That is also a part of sadhana actually. So today we will explore how traditional wisdom and the modern organization can help us build a sustainable, digital Gurukula. It is not a Gurukula, it is a digital Gurukula. So moving forward, what we learn from this session actually, I want to reassure you that this is not an MBA class actually. I'm not teaching any management philosophies or the principles or something like that. So we are here, I mean, like we are here to understand why some organizations sustained for centuries to centuries and some vanished within few years or few months or something. Okay. So like ancient Gurukula survived because of social transformation, because it adopted to the social conditions, economic conditions of the people actually. The olden Gurukula, what it was there before, we are not able to follow that, but the principles will be the same. But according to the situations and the economic structure of the people and the society we live, it changes. So, like like how it came across the generations, because someone preserved the records, someone maintained the systems, someone ensured the continuity. That is the administration who is maintaining that records and train the successor, maintain the system. That is called administration. So by the end of the session, we will see that administration is not merely the paperwork what we do. It is a planning, it is a communication, it is a documentation, it's a leadership, it's a service. And most importantly, what allows an organization to continue serving, it should continue serving the future generation. That is very important. The administration should lead to that. It should not stop here. It should continue further. So moving on. So I would like to introduce you to the 4 pillars of any institutions actually, which is based on Sanskrit ideas. That is dharma, vyavastha, seva, samrakshana. So these are not traditional Sanskrit words, but they have a deeper practical principles in any organization as such. So what is dharma? It answers a simple question. Why do we exist? Take an example of Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya. So you all are appointed by Guruji as a faculty members. So if somebody asks you, why does this Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya exist? Can anybody say? Any one of you? I think Guruji, you can only pick. Anybody?
Ma, can I?
Okay, go ahead, Ma. I'm not able to hear you. Can you come again? Shweta Shukla, Ma.
Pranam Guruji, Namaskaram Ma. In my, I think we are very transparent and dedicated and honest. What
No,
I
my
feel all these
question,
things.
No, my question was, if somebody asks you why is Chanditantra Mahavidyalaya exist, what is the answer? Saraswati Ma.
Namaskar, Ma. What I would like to say is like it is acting as a bridge between our scriptures and bringing it to the present with discipline and like preservation, I would say, preservation of our scriptures and teaching it to the modern society in the way that they can understand.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I would like to say that you should all know what is the vision and mission of our Mahavidyalaya, what is Guruji's vision on that. But anyway, we will be having a detailed session during the orientation class, student orientation of the new semester. So you should be very clear as a faculty members, you should all know what is the vision and what vision does this Mahavidyalaya has for the students actually. And so this is very important question. So next, going forward, this is the dharma. I mean, why do we exist? That is one of the main questions we should ask ourselves as a Mahavidyalaya and as a faculty members, as an institution, we should ask. Then the next one. The next one is, second principle is Vyavastha. Vyavastha means order. So it is not something like many people imagine that spirituality as something spontaneous, but it is not. Actually, it is like doing it in a very organized way is the Vyavastha. Like how we do now, we are all guided by Guruji to do Navaha Parayanam. So which is in order. Guruji has told this is the order you need to follow. That is called Vyavastha. So, and then so everything like functions according to the structure. So the third pillar is seva. What we think about seva is doing some work. Actually, seva means doing the right work with the right attitude is the seva. Administration performed with ego becomes like control. So we should not have any ego and we should do the seva, which becomes as a support system to the organization. So finally, the samrakshana, the next last pillar, which is the preservation. Samrakshana means preservation. We are not building something only for ourselves here. We are preserving knowledge for the future sadhakas. When we maintain all these records, what we are having, this documentation, everything, the stotramalas and other Navaha Parayanam document, whatever we are having, we are maintaining that record system and train the future faculty and the students. That is Samrakshana. So every lasting institution, any institution which has to last for longer generations to generation, it has to sustain means these four foundations are very necessary. Purpose, order, service, and preservation. When any one of these becomes weak, then the institution itself becomes too weak. So next one. So like many people think that management is a modern invention actually. Every successful civilization developed like I mean, there are many scholars like Kautilya discuss planning, organization, accountability, governance centuries ago. But what was their actual thought? His main concern was sustainability. How to sustain? How do institutions or organization sustain beyond individuals? How do systems continue after leadership changes? Because suddenly somebody leaves. How do organizations sustain? These are all not recent thought now. It was there from the previous centuries, actually. So only the terminology has changed, but the principles remain the same. So what happens now? Let us take our own Mahavidyalaya example. What happens if the students' records are not maintained? Nobody cares about documentation. We are not document anything. You do whatever you want to take. We will not say anything. Now we are preparing, you all are preparing the Sotramalas for Sri Vidya thing. or Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Trishakti Upasana documents. What if we don't give anything to the students? How will they learn? And we are maintaining the documents. We are continuing for the next semester also. So all these are like very much required. What happens if faculty members leaves, becomes unavailable for a day or a month or whatever it is? So knowledge will exist, but the access disappears. That's why the system matters. So history, what history is telling us is it is having this, I mean, so it is giving us these principles, but what we need to do is we need to blend with our modern techniques. All these management principles should be blended with the modern techniques and build and sustain the Gurukula system. So what is leadership in Mahavidyalaya? So what exactly the common man thinks that leadership means? It is something, a power. Leadership, it is one of the most misunderstood word in the education. Leader means they think of something position. Okay, but it is not. So the moment we think a leader in our Mahavidyalaya is Guruji, principal, administrator, faculty head, right? But who is the leader in the classroom? When you take a class, who is the leader? A faculty will be the leader in that class. Okay? The volunteer who is doing something with a responsibility, he will become the leader. He or she will become the leader at that point of time. So leadership is not a designation. Leadership is the responsibility actually. Okay? So there are different types of leadership structure what we follow, what we have here. The first one is servant leadership. So servant leadership means like he is a leader, he or she is a leader who doesn't ask how many people report to me actually. He or she asks how many people I am helping with. We all should become like that. How many people am I helping with to take this forward, take this teachings forward? An administrator serves the faculty, institution serves the society. Okay, so all these are servant leadership. The other leadership, the distributed leadership. So in any organization, no organization can grow if everything depends on one person. So it has to be distributed. So imagine if everything is handled by Guruji, but everything he would not be able to answer at that point to everyone. So he has designated volunteers to help him. So that is called distributed leadership. So the last one is transformational leadership. So the transformational leadership encourages us to develop future leaders. Now you're all like Guruji is encouraging you to be a faculty member. So means that you're teaching and you're taking it forward. So in that way, you're also learning and everything. So that becomes it is not about control. It is enabling. Guruji is making you to contribute. He is enabling you to contribute to the Mahavidyalaya. That is called transformational leadership. So so at the end of the day, leadership is not a title or a position. Every person who takes the responsibility for the success of the organization is already exercising the leadership qualities. Okay. Now, digital Gurukula. We had not heard about this digital Gurukula centuries ago, actually. Gurukula means people say, like, what we know about ancient Gurukulas is they had a physical place, the hermitage and the sage will be there. They will be inviting all the students. They will be staying together, actually. The guru and the students will be staying together and they will be learning. So what is the modern Gurukula now? A Gurukula can anybody like centuries ago think that Gurukula will exist online? No, they would have not thought. So now, because when we because it's a physical place and everything, what the previous ideas was. So now the digital Gurukula, it's actually the to go to the basics. Gurukula is basically a relationship between the Guru, Shastra, and the Shishya. So digital Gurukula means it is the acting the medium between Guru, Shastra, and Shishya. Technology. What is that medium? Technology is a medium which is acting. So that is called Gurukula. I mean, digital Gurukula. The essence remains the same. The teaching remains the same. What we use, the platform will only differ. Like now, how we are using Zoom, Google Meet is there. There are various other platforms what we use. YouTube is there. So only the platform changes, but the essence remains the same. So students are joining in our Mahavidyalaya, take as an example, students are joining from cities, countries, states, other continents also. How these teachings would have been accessible if we don't use the Zoom platform, for example. So technology has expanded the access. People can attend classes without becoming a part of the learning community, actually. Even there are many students on the YouTube, many viewers on the YouTube. They're not officially our students they're not part of our Sadhaka Sangha, but they are learning. Classic example now. So that is why the faculty becomes very important, because you people will be going on YouTube. It will be going on live. So Zoom is not the Gurukula. WhatsApp is not the Gurukula. YouTube is not the Gurukula. Google Drive is not the Gurukula. These are only the tools. Technology is connecting all these devices. Faculty is only connecting people. Next one. So we look into administration at practice. Okay. So as I already told you, administration is not just a paperwork. It is an organized coordination. Suppose like now recently we went to Vaidyagramam. Guruji announced that event. We had 6 months in advance, 6 to 8 months we were preparing. Like what is it? We planned, we organized, Guruji allocated the responsibility, we coordinated, communicated, we reviewed. I mean, later on we reviewed the outcomes. How this is? This is called this POTS code. What is this? What is planning, organization, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, budgeting? We've all done this during our recent event. And any event in our Mahavidyalaya follows all these steps. I mean, knowing or unknowingly, we all do this. And this is a management principle, actually.
So, sure. Slide show.
Okay. So knowingly and unknowingly, we have followed all these steps during our Mahavidyalaya event. So this is called PODSCOP. The administration process what we follow during the events. So when there is no organized cooperation, we realize that administration is just simply the organized cooperation, actually, from students and all the, like coordination of our efforts, and the more effectively we can serve the students and fulfill our mission actually. So the next one. So if there is any lesson we are learning, any lesson, administration lesson, what we get is this from this, like most problems are not caused by bad intentions actually. It is most of the problems what we have is due to the misunderstandings. Okay, some assume that message was not understood, some assumes a deadline was not clear or responsibility was not assigned. Okay. So all these because of the misunderstanding. That's why communication becomes a very important thing in our Mahavidyalaya. Communication must be clear. All the faculty members should have a proper communication, and communication must be consistent, should be timely, and it should be made with a due respect actually. So, and the documentation is very important. As you all know, documentation is really very important. It requires memory because we need to sustain this Mahavidya actually and preserve and take it forward to the next generations. Individuals can't rely on the memory. That's why documentation becomes very important. So, attendance record, what we have to document. Attendance record, assignment record, faculty discussion, policy discussions, students' progress, institutional history, all of these need documentation. Okay. If something is important, we should not think, we should have to document it. Okay. Documentation is preservation. So clear communication is also required, which prevents confusion. Good documentation preserves organizational memory. So what we document today becomes a valuable resource for those who serve the organization tomorrow. So next, AI. Now everyone, when we hear the word innovation, they think that something uncomfortable. So especially in the traditional institutions. So what is this AI, innovation, everything? And innovation doesn't always mean that we are abandoning tradition. Tradition will stay. Okay. But what innovation does is not abandoning tradition. It is finding a better ways to fulfill our traditional responsibilities in a much more efficient way, actually. Okay. So the mission remains the same. What we have, we are learning, that remains the same. Okay. The methods evolve. How we do is what matters actually. We can better use of the AI and the innovation tools to do our work in a very efficient way. Like suppose if you want to draft any communication, you can use the AI actually. If there is any templates, we can use the AI to reduce our repetitive work and burden. Okay. Any attendance tracking, we need not track it attendance manually. There is the tools in that we can track the attendance. That is how we use in our Mahavidyalaya all this innovation and AI. So every minute spending in the routine task is a minute we can use that instead for teaching, mentoring and guiding. Instead of doing all these repetitive works, we can use it to perform our sadhana, teaching, mentoring, guiding students. So in that way, we have to adopt ourselves to the AI and the innovation. We should not be adamant to, okay, we will do it manually. We should not be. So technology will automatically do the routine work, actually. We should focus on wisdom, guidance, and relationships. Like how we build the faculty-student relationship. No, I'm not talking about any personal relationship. Like it should be on the Mahavidyalaya. So what is the takeaway for this innovation and AI is like it should never compete with the tradition actually. Innovation should never compete with the tradition. It should support it. We should better make use of this technology to free us from the routine and repetitive task, so that we can better focus on other things, teaching, mentoring, and the service. So now I would like all of us to think like a organization builders. Okay. Suppose we have, I've just mentioned 100 students, but we have already crossed 100 students. So suppose if we have like around 5,000 students in our Mahavidyalaya, and Mahavidyalaya expands very significantly in the upcoming years. So we have multiple courses, several faculty members, different languages, assignments, graduation requirements, student support. How do we organize it? We have to think very practically that point of time. How would admissions work? Now we are doing Google form and other things. We are sending one by one messages. Sending 5,000 messages, is it possible? So how would the records be maintained? What would be the consistency ensured? You have to think about, we have to think about all these things actually. There's no, there is no single right or wrong answer here. The objective is to find out the perfect solution for this. Like, how do we do this? So, what I'm trying to say from this session is like, institutions are built through systems and the teamwork. It is not one person. Of course, Guruji is there. We all take from him, but it is a teamwork. Everybody is very important here. So, reflect very honestly this one. Not about the institution, not about ourselves. Do people find my communication clear? Can others depend on me? Do I complete responsibilities consistently? Do I document my work? Do I support the fellow faculty members? Am I helping the institution grow? These are all the questions we need to ask ourselves. How am I? All these questions are very important. How do I contribute to the institution? How am I helping to the fellow faculty members? How do I improve the system? Is my communication very clear? So administration begins with the systems, but the excellent administration begins with the self-discipline. So our Mahavidyalaya will become very reliable. You know when? When we are all people within the Mahavidyalaya becomes very reliable, then Mahavidyalaya will become very reliable. We are the faces of Mahavidyalaya. We have to cultivate that self-discipline. Ultimately, the quality of the institution reflects the quality of the people who sustain it, actually. So I repeat, the quality of the Mahavidyalaya reflects the quality of the people who sustain it. We are all carrying and we are all sustaining. So we have to be that quality individuals. So this is the assignment question. Choose one administrative process. You have to suggest the improvements using this traditional wisdom, modern management, and digital. Like take any process in the admin, like the anything like assignments you're all doing. How can you better, like how can a Mahavidyalaya, I think from a Mahavidyalaya perspective, how can we better do this? Preserving the traditionality of the learning with a blending of the modern management, and how can we also interweave with the digital thing, like what I told about the AI and the innovation part. You all have to email Guruji in other 2 or 3 days, I'll send a message. So you take this as an assignment question and share. So I would like to return to the question which I began actually. So what is the difference between conducting a class and building a institution? So as I told you, the class lasts for an hour. The workshop or the session or any event will last for that day or 2-3 days. So the institution or the Mahavidyalaya should survive the generations. Okay. So it will not survive because of the inspiration alone. Like, okay, we have the thought, it will not survive like that. Because it is supported in Mahavidyalaya or any institution will survive because of the supported systems which support it actually. Otherwise, it will not survive. So our ancient scriptures have already given us the purpose, what we need to do and all. But the leadership develops people. Administration creates the continuity. It is creating the continuity and sustaining this knowledge actually. But and how? Technology, by using the technology. Technology is making us reach the people across the continents. And Seva gives meaning to all of it. And as a faculty members of our Mahavidyalaya, our responsibility is not merely to teach. Okay, it is not merely we are teaching. Our responsibility is to help build a Mahavidyalaya much more stronger that continues serving sadhakas long after we are gone. Our Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya should stay forever and ever. Even if we quit our body, it should stay. That is a contribution we need to make for this Mahavidyalaya. So when the knowledge is preserved and the systems are maintained and the responsibilities are shared and fulfilled with the sincerity, the Mahavidyalaya becomes the vehicle through which the wisdom travels across the generations. So let us not strive to merely conduct classes. Let us strive to build a much more bigger Mahavidyalaya worthy for the future generations. Okay. Shri Gurupyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. If there is any one thought I would like to carry us forward, is this: the service without systems eventually becomes unsustainable. Okay, I repeat, service without systems become unsustainable. Systems without service lose their meaning. A thriving Mahavidyalaya requires both. Okay, so service is also required, system is also required. For Mahavidyalaya to continue, let's say any organization to continue. So here I end my session. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you a lot for giving me the opportunity to present it. I hope I covered everything. If anything missing, please, I ask for apology. Thank you, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Thank you so much, Isha. I would like Acharya Shri Tarunima to say a few words about the class.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. As a growing institution, what all are required to make it as a Mahavidyalaya, in fact, in my words, university, all the points have been covered very well. And we all have that responsibility, and we need to share the responsibilities as given by Shri Guru, and just follow his instructions to make this as a Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya, as a university for seekers. This is what is the ultimate truth we are all looking for, and by Devi's and Guruji's grace, it will happen, and we will all honestly do our seva the way Guruji is following, and we'll just follow your footsteps, Guruji. And maybe in the next coming years, we will have around 25 faculties. 25 faculties to attend such kind of programs, and we will keep improving ourselves. And every day is a learning, and we will all learn, and we will just keep one step at a day, and we will reach our goal. And our goal is to see Sri Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya as a university. This is what is my vision for a long time. I don't know, like it is there always with me. So we will all reach that one day under Sri Guruji's guidance. Guruji.
Thank you so much, Asha Tarima, to build this kind of a vision. Honestly, I don't have a vision like that, which Tarunima is having. But since the time been we have been organized as a Chandika Mandali, and we were working at a very grassroots level. She was talking about this, and I think it is materializing in some or the other way. But I, like, with all humility, till the time whatever we are doing it in the best of the abilities. And I think I'm connecting this with Shweta Ma's thoughts that she said, though the answer came in a different context, but it is all about transparency, dedication, and wisdom. So we maintain that actually to whatever levels we grow, we continue to be like that, because that is something very important, and for us to evolve from one dimension to the other actually. And that is what we are all trying to do together. And Isha's presentation gave a holistic picture. As Tarunima said, it brought in the vision from the entire theoretical point of view, because it actually talks about it's like unsung heroes, like the administration, like it was like either run by Tarunima in the previous years. Now Isha is running it. The kind of dedication that is required, and as it mentioned, like when something goes wrong, then everybody's like, why did it go wrong? When everything is smooth, nobody's bothered actually. And that is what we are trying to implement. Like it goes like in a very smooth manner, and it functions, and you're all a part of that system actually. And thank you so much, Isha. There were some technical glitches, I guess. She lost the PowerPoint presentation when she was talking. There were very important slides were there. I'm instructing Isha to share these slides with the faculty members so that you can go through it and you can read about it and bring it together. Moving forward, the next session will be by my Akka Sri Lakshmi Kala, who is the examinations officer for this year for the Mahavidyalaya. Very important part of the Mahavidyalayas, because when it is a school, exams and testing and moving forward is a very important aspect of the Mahavidyalaya. And she will be talking in detail about covering up the ideas of traditional learning, student mentorship, and institutional responsibility on the 15th of August at 8 a.m. We will look forward for a session. She's also been preparing very sincerely, and I've been having discussions with her with what she's going to talk and everything. It is coming out, and we would be looking forward for that. And all these 5 sessions, I would all the faculties members, you have been already writing the reflections to me. I would ask you to compile and keep all the 5 sessions together, because before you will be formally appointed and you will take the oath of responsibility of becoming a faculty and becoming a the administration. I will have an individual meeting again with each one of you to discuss about the entire reflections that writing actually on all the 5 sessions. And I will have a detailed discussion for 15-20 minutes with each one of you as an conversation we will be having. And then we will be having our Mahavidyalaya administration. The oath taking ceremony will take place, and you all will be formally appointed for this academic year as a part of the office bearers of the Mahavidyalaya. So thank you so much for being here and learning, and I hope you are all enjoying this new process of thing that is unfolded. I know I keep saying this. I came to learn Durga Saptashati. I never know I'm going to land up doing all these things here. But that's the truth, and we are moving forward with that, and let's take it forward. Thank you so much. Let's finish the class with Mangala. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namosute Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshamak Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swada Namosute. Om Shanti 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 Sarvam Shri Chandi Mahalakshmi Arpanamastu Tathastu. Thank you so much. Thank you, Isha, once again. Thank you, everybody. See you in the next class. Namaskaram.